Scott here from Alcohol and Anime Night, back with another G.I. Joe Classified unboxing, this time with another Target exclusive G.I. Joe Classified Vypra. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. You may remember on our previous G.I. Joe Classified unboxing, we worked on the Trouble Bubble and the Televiper, which I got for an incredible deal. I actually got her for only a little bit more than I got these guys. Crazy how that works out. Another Target exclusive repaint. It looks good. The packaging right off the bat, honestly, it's a banger right off the bat. It just looks cool. It looks like a character that you want to play with. I do really wish they still had the file cards on the back that really talked about the character. Now, I actually remember this character. She came with one of the Cobra 4x4s, and there's a whole file card that basically said that she's like this crazy driver, and it's insane because when you think of ninjas, you don't necessarily think of like driving crazy like 4x4s with surface-to-air missiles on them, but you know what? This is the world of G.I. Joe, and things get wild. Now, another thing to notice, a lot of people wonder what the Python Patrol is, and this was actually something that was back, right after the G.I. Joe movie happened. There was kind of a hiatus on the cartoon, and they came back and they did a cartoon like mini-series, and that mini-series was actually, I don't want to spoil too much, but they introduced the Python Patrol there, and essentially what it is, they use this kind of crazy skull mask, almost like a skinwalker mask, to channel this energy into these uniforms and also prints on the vehicles that essentially make them invisible to electronic detection, which is pretty on brand for a ninja, so it actually kind of works. And so basically what they were able to do is repaint a whole bunch of their old figures and vehicles, get a second run out of them, and just call it the Python Patrol. Now, well, here's the crazy thing. This character, although she was that driver on the vehicle, and she was also, I believe, a Hasbro G.I. Joe Club collector's edition, back in the day. She was like an exclusive for that. I don't believe she was ever actually in the Python Patrol, so what's kind of crazy is that you could pretty much put anybody in it. I think even Crocmaster was in it at some point, so it's kind of crazy that they were just able to do whatever they want with the brand because there's not really any lore to it that you have to abide by, and you gotta add and subtract people from that little sub-team as you will. So let's get her cracked open straight away here. I don't know if I got too much tape. There's a little bit of tape on here, right on the top. Now I can already see she comes with quite a few weapons, and I already know that she's pretty much what they call a kit bash. So kit bashing is like when you basically take a figure, you take it apart, you mix and match maybe the accessories, the weapons, and get it the way you want. Maybe you do some painting, and basically Hasbro's kind of done that for you here already. So there's just a quick view of what she looks like, and then we're gonna bust out the they always give you a nice like foot locker to store the stuff in. I actually think it's pretty awesome because it's easy to lose the stuff. So here's the parchment paper that it comes in. Tear it open. All right, let's start with the accessories. Let's make sure we get everything out of here. Something else in here, I can feel it. Probably a sword because I think that's what she comes with. All right, well, let's start with the swords then. So we got two, Wazazaki style and a katana. So it's a short sword and a long sword. And they have on it, it basically looks like, and it's gonna be really hard to tell even if I zoom in, but it's basically like the head of snakes. So they are on brand with not only her name, but she is a Cobra. So those look great in red. And of course, there is a quiver. That is also a place for her swords, so I'm just going to put both of those in there right now so I don't lose them. Now, one thing I did notice about this quiver, not only is it not quite the color that they show on the box, but you might notice this is a complete, just straight up reuse of Storm Shadow's quiver and arrows. And it even has the Arashikage logo on it. I don't know if there's anybody who's ever said that she's in the Arashikage, but again, who knows? It's a ninja clan, they're secret, whatever. Or maybe she literally just has Storm Shadow's hand-me-downs, which I guess is also kind of on brand for the military. So not only do you have the arrows here, but you also get a single arrow which you can store in there. I love that that single arrow can store in there and not get lost. And what would a quiver of arrows be without a bow? The bow is, again, a complete reuse from Storm Shadow, and I also believe it's a reuse from Naugahyde as well. I know some people get pissed off about the weapons reuse and stuff. To me, that's just on brand. Like, why in the world where you've got multiple Cobras, why would they have different bows? They'd probably buy them from the same place. Does Destro sell bows? I'm going to say Destro definitely sells bows. All right, so we got the swords, we got the bow, and this is really the part that sets it apart, this skull mask. This thing is metal AF. This is definitely like, if I was going to be a ninja, I'd be like, yeah. Can I wear a goddamn skull mask? And they'd be like, that. No, you're supposed to be like invisible and like they're supposed to forget about you. I'm like, yeah, but how sick would it be to have a skull mask? You're like, that, it's a horrible idea. Anyway, it looks amazing. I almost wonder if it's a nod to the skull masks that the Baroness wore in that episode where they introduced the Python Patrol. So it's really cool. All right, well, let's get her out of here. They are no longer, at least on this one, this was still when they were trying to do like a plastic-free type thing. I think they've now since moved on. They're on like many different versions on the packaging. I didn't actually mind this one too much. I know some people are really mad about it, but these twist ties were really easy to get off. You just twist them backwards and they come right off. You didn't have to cut them. I remember that just as I was getting ready to cut them. All right, and here she is. Now, I think it's quite obvious when you look at this character, if you know anything about any of the other ninja figures. I have this figure here. This was from the Snake Eyes film, and you can see they are very similar. The mold is almost identical. The difference is in the head, obviously, the paint job, and the arms are, I'm wondering if these are maybe Zorana's arms. It's hard to tell. They kind of look like Zorana's arms, but maybe not. So the arms are different, the head is different, and what's best, what I'm very excited about, is the lower legs are different. I don't know if you can tell, but this character, she is from the Snake Eyes Origins movie and has one of the worst feet ever. It's like a high heel, so it sucks for posing her as a ninja. You really can't pose her anywhere. So it's not. There's a reason why you can pick this up on the used market for like $3. It's not it's not a bad figure. It's just that those feet suck. But this one has the feet from the female ninja, which was a blue female ninja 2-pack. And I believe the head is also the same, perhaps even the arms. So it's a great little kit bash. They took the best parts of that figure, the best parts of that blue ninja, gave it a new repaint, basically reused the weapons from Storm Shadow and threw a skull mask in there, and away you go. And I love the look of the black and the gold and the red go very well together. I thought it was a really cool look. We got to get that skull mask on there. Hell yeah. Oh man, that's cool. That is cooler than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, that's great, man. That is just metal. It's super metal. But yeah, I love the flat feet that are going to allow a much better range of motion when it comes to posing. The arms are a little dainty here. Whoo boy, like I can feel them just like wanting to be a little gummy. But they do move around. You just got them kind of, oh boy, get them beyond those shoulder pads. They kind of rub in there, and makes it hard to get the arm high. But anyway, really cool. I'm loving this character. I'm loving the idea that there's not a lot of lore behind the character. One thing I will say is when the Collectors Club version of her was essentially just a straight up repaint of Jinx. So just instead of being red, it was blue. And I kind of like that they stole the Blue Ninja's parts to make her. So I really like this figure. If you can get it at a decent price. Now, I'll be honest, my targets have had almost nothing lately. Once they cleared out of these trouble bubbles, they had almost nothing. They had a couple of the retro card things. It was like they blew out G.I. Joes and they didn't want to stock anymore. So I don't know if they're just having a hard time or if collectors are coming in there and buying them out. I don't know. But if you're able to find this one, I think it's worth it. If you want a cool ninja in your actual collection, you don't have one, and I just think it's a cool look, and I think it's a creative use of the Python Patrol to be able to get a repaint in without going wild. Now what's crazy is that if you have that, I believe they're going to do I think it might actually just be a regular release for the Cobra vehicle. It's like their version of the Vamp, and she was the original driver for it, so that you actually have this character. She would have originally been the pack-in for it, so now you have her to drive it if you want to. So that's pretty cool. I like this figure a lot, and I'm definitely looking forward to getting her in the display for sure. So until next time, this is Scott from Alcohol and Anime Night. Kanpai.